Hey guys, this is Steve Huff from SteveHuffPhoto.com, and I have insomnia, and I decided what better time than when I have insomnia than to test my new Panasonic Lumix GH5S. Now, I've been shooting Sony for video for quite a while now, ever since I think A7S2. Then A7R2, then A7R3, the A9 thrown in there. And I keep hearing about the Panasonic GH5, and I never went with the GH5. And I'm whispering because people are sleeping in my house. And I wanted to test this camera out in low light. So I have to be quiet. But I have the GH5S right now, and I'm testing the 12 to 35 V2. And I have a Shure microphone right now. And I gotta say, I never tried the GH5 because I know the autofocus was so lacking. And I'm a guy who uses autofocus in his videos because I do videos like this and I do videos in other areas of life. I do run and gun where the GH5 would be better than the GH5S. Due to the in-body image stabilization. But I need a camera that can do this, where I'm like, oh, what am I drinking today? I'm drinking some Third Eye Chakra tea tonight. And I didn't think these cameras would be able to do that reliably. See, focus, no problem. So I decided to give the GH5S a try as a trial for a couple days. I actually rented this, and soon, maybe 3 hours after I had it in my hands and did some test video, I ordered one from Amazon. I ordered it also with a couple lenses, one of the lenses being the 12mm f1.4 Panasonic lens, because I want something as wide as possible and fast as possible because we are dealing with micro four thirds. But even so, with this dual native ISO, and I'm shooting in vlog or vlog, whatever you want to call it. The native ISO in this mode, I believe, on the low end is 800 and the high end is 5000. But what's cool here is I just cranked this guy up to 12,800 and check out the results. You're seeing the results right now. Now I shot this in vlog and it's very easy. I imported into Final Cut Pro. Apply the LUT, and it's magic, right? It just brings it to life. But anyway, I finally understand what all the hubbub is about these Panasonic GH series of cameras. A couple people have been telling me about it. I know Hugh Brownstone from Three Blind Men and an Elephant swears by his GH5, and he told me all about it a while back, and I just couldn't get over the low light of the original GH5, which to me was not very good, and the slow AF. But I can deal with the AF. It's not as bad as I thought. But after ordering the GH5S, I think I'm going to order a GH5 so I can have one walk around with the in-body image stabilization and one for low light work, for tripod work, which I do quite often outside of this channel. So there's a lot to love about the GH5S, and I'm late to the party. There's a million reviews on YouTube. There's a million reviews on the internet. So this isn't a review. It's just to tell you guys, I've switched from Sony for video to Panasonic. The Panasonic is offering me better color depth because I'm shooting this in 10-bit. And I'm only shooting it in 1080 HD, but in 1080 at 10-bit, the color depth is amazing, even at 12,800 ISO. For micro four thirds, it's astounding. Now, I still have an Olympus EM1 Mark II, and I was testing that out, and it can't even come close. In low light, it just gets blotchy and dull, and there's no really good profiles. The EM1 Mark II is fantastic for photos, but for video work, it's not so hot. I gotta tell you though, the GH5S, anyway, that I'm experiencing now is blowing my mind. The ergonomics are great. The controls are great. The menu for video is great. Now, I wouldn't buy this camera as a photo tool. I think it's 99% of people are going to buy it for video. And this weekend, I'm going to go out with my son and we're going to put the GH5S and possibly the GH5 both to the test out in some low light. And I'm really going to try to do some cool video work with it because it's one of those cameras that can inspire you. So if you're into video, and you're thinking Sony, Panasonic, I've been using Sony's. I've used the A7 III, the A7R III, and the A9 for video. And yes, those have way faster autofocus, probably longer battery life. But, and this is the big but, the Panasonic, this GH5S shoots in 10-bit. The Sony can't. I am seeing greater detail, deeper blacks, much better color coming out of the Panasonic than the Sony full frame. Full frame is going to give you a greater shallow depth of field if that's what you want, but that's why I bought the 12mm 1.4, which arrives on Thursday, 2 days from now. So there's going to be some stuff coming up with the GH5S. I know it's been done to death everywhere, but hey, it's new to me. It's one of those cameras that I dismissed due to speed and low light, and now they fixed the low light. This dual native ISO is amazing. Dual card slots, wonderful mic input and preamps. You have 4K 10-bit. Yeah, I'm not up on all the video terms, but the video guys know what I'm talking about. You know that this camera, for the price it comes in at, is actually kind of a deal. So a lot of professionals use these cameras, and what I'm seeing in the difference between Sony and this, it's pretty big. The color science is better on Panasonic, the details better on the Panasonic, the depth of the video quality, and here I am at 12,800 ISO talking to you now at like 11 o'clock at night in my house, and I better sip some of my third eye chakra tea here. It's so good. If you guys want some great tea, third eye chakra tea on Amazon. Oh, it's so good. So another camera that I use for video sometimes is right here. This is the Canon, I forget, is this the M6 or is this the M5? This is the M6, I believe. So I have a Canon M6 that I take out sometimes. Now here's that slow AF. See, it takes a little time to come in, where the Sonys will just pop in. They snap in instantly. As does this Canon, because this Canon has dual pixel AF, which is simply amazing. But the IQ of this Canon for video, even at its highest HD setting, cannot hold a candle to this guy. So I'm already in love with the GH5S. I mean, people have been telling me about these for years. I dismiss them, and it always seems when I dismiss a camera, I'm dismissing something really, really good. Now, can this do well for photos? It's only 10 megapixels, 10.2. I remember shooting a D2HS at 4 megapixels and blowing up big prints and loving it. So I could be okay with 10 megapixels. I loved the Sony A7S III for photos. That big fat pixels give a special look to the photos. I haven't really shot any with this yet, but I'm going to test it out with some photos soon. But yeah, anyway, so be on the lookout, guys, for more footage and more info and more thoughts, as well as a video from me and my son this weekend where we're going to take this guy out on the streets at night and see how it goes. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. This is Steve from SteveHuffPhoto.com. Bye.